Yo, here we go for
One,
the
two.
very first, the inaugural
Wow.
We Tell Stories
Yeah, man.
podcast
We in this thing.
with the Sean C. Johnson. Listen, it's not the Breakfast Club. It's not Morning Time with Sway on XM series, but the energy is in the building,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Thank you so much for joining us here today, man.
Thank you, man.
I feel like
is awesome, man.
over the
This
years,
is really awesome.
you, my friend, have been a part of a lot of firsts.
Yeah.
I mean, especially dealing with Heady. You know, Heady will
my
bring
guy.
people in, and he will be like, "Yo, I got an idea. You want to be
he'll
a
bring
part
you
of it?"
in
You know what I'm
quick,
saying?
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
quick, call
Quick.
in favors and everything. You
Yeah.
know, he'll pay you with peanuts and hugs, but you know, he'll bring you in.
But
So
we love him. He's a good guy.
we do. And why else will we be in Guthrie America Studios?
Facts.
Other than
Yeah.
Heady.
He's the only reason I come together.
Right, I don't come here for the barbecue. I don't come here for Red Brick Nights. I
Good
don't come
people.
here
Good people out here.
for
but
church. I don't come.
Nothing.
I pass through Guthrie
That's
on the way to
it.
Stillwater, to
Yes.
Kansas. In fact, I will spend more time in Topeka
Then Guthrie.
than Guthrie
I
if
feel
Heady
you.
wasn't here.
Heady is the mayor. He's the unofficial mayor. of
Unofficial
Guthrie.
mayor.
He's
a-
unofficial.
I
mayor.
think cities have vice mayors.
That would be Heady.
Heady, would you be a vice mayor? Yes, you would. No. If a city had an ambassador,
Yeah.
Heady would be the ambassador.
Oh, for sure. He's the
Yeah.
picture perfect. Yeah.
It's a lot of people that when they think Guthrie, they think Heady. Anyhow,
Yeah, man.
we can gas them up the whole time, but we're here to talk about you, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
I need you to tell the people, when you hear We Tell Stories, what are some of the first memories you think of?
Java Days
Ooh, Java Days.
is the first thing that
Tell the
pops
people
up.
what Java Days is.
Java Days was a coffee shop where we first, I believe it was the first place that we hosted.
It was not the first.
It was not the first.
It was not the
Okay,
first.
it was one of the first. It was
Yes.
it was the longest running place that
It
we were
was.
at.
It was.
And it became synonymous with We
We
Tell
Tell
Stories.
Stories.
Like when people bring up Java Days, oh, this is what y'all have. We Tell Stories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's the first thing that comes up. Outside of that, community comes up. Training ground. It was a training ground for me.
Yeah.
I feel like everything that I'm doing now started at We Tell Stories.
Yeah.
Like from music to film to like putting on events, like all that started when I was at We Tell Stories.
Now, when you think about like starting, I know you've been a part of a lot of firsts.
Yeah.
Right? And I mean, when you think about first album,
Yeah.
when you think about like first community events,
Yeah.
first performances, like a
Yeah.
lot of firsts, why was We Tell Stories such a safe place to explore first opportunities?
So I think the audience, I think what Heady created there was people being receptive to people stepping outside of their comfort zone and trying something for the first time.
Yeah.
I think because everybody there was not professionals. Like I think it
Oh,
was
definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
It was there was an understanding that, hey, like, listen, I'm sharing my gift with you guys.
Yeah.
Like, this is a safe place for me to do that. Like, I need y'all to receive this. And of course, like, constructive criticism was there, but
Yeah.
like I think people felt comfortable. Heady created an environment that was just comfortable
Yeah.
for people to step outside of their comfort zone.
Definitely.
Like,
And when you
yeah.
think about first, it's not just like first musicians. We have first poets,
Yeah.
right? We
People
had
started their careers.
their whole careers there, right? We talking
At
about
We Tell
like
Stories, yeah.
first business owners.
Yes.
Right. I remember selling like cheesecakes. People selling
Yeah.
cheesecakes out the back. People with T-shirt designs. People with books.
Yeah.
We had people that were not only like vocalist musicians, but like people that played.
Yeah, man.
I mean, there is a long history, a long line of
It
first.
just, I mean, when you create an event like Heady did, it was once a month. It brought out a certain demographic. It
Yeah.
brought out a certain people like that love art, and it was
Yeah.
just like, it was just the perfect place to be like, okay, it was a built-in audience. It was a consistent audience. I
Yeah.
was able to go there and like hone my craft and like build up a following. Like I tell people all the time, like that's why I started, because like people would see me there,
Yeah.
invite me somewhere else. See me there, invite me somewhere else. And like, and it just steamrolled from there. But the connecting point was always We Tell Stories. And
Yeah.
like a lot of people I started out with, like clothing companies, people who were poets, like we all started there.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just amazing to look back and see like the people who stuck with it, like that consistency, like they're still doing, and they're very good at their craft. Like
Yeah.
in the city, like these are the people who are leading the charge now in the city. Like all of them you can point, it's like the 6 degrees like
Yeah.
of We Tell Stories.
It's like three.
Yeah, it's
it's shorter.
it's shorter than that.
Yeah.
Like facts, like it's shorter than that. But like everything connects back to that community. Like the people with the talent was here. We just needed a space to congregate and kind of like build and iron sharpen iron. Like it was that type of environment. It was a battling ground. It was a breeding ground. Like we were able to kind of like see what that person was doing. Like I think the peak of We Tell Stories was Cam's set. When Cam came, like that night, the energy that was in that place, like it was just. Yeah, man, it was phenomenal. But like seeing that, like it motivated other artists, like to step. You like getting a premiere spot at We Tell Stories, like getting your face on the fire. Is like, okay, I'm the featured artist.
Huge
was huge.
Yeah,
like it was a thing, like being a featured artist. So it's just like seeing that for other artists was like, all right, that's a benchmark. Like, okay, I've made it to a certain place here in the city in the scene if I have a featured spot. And We Tell Stories.
And we know that there are lots of other people that try to replicate the model.
Yeah.
There are people that are trying and failing.
Yeah.
There are people that are trying and succeeding in some capacity.
Yeah.
But you can't go back over the last 20 years and find something that has been more successful than We Tell Stories.
Like, I think it was a special place in time. Like it was a perfect storm because I think a lot of us we were young, we weren't married, or we were young and married. But we just had there was a lot of time and opportunity that we had to give to that scene, and you can't duplicate that. Like you can't circle back and try to say, all right, we're gonna try to redo it. It was a magic moment for me. Like it was magic for me. Like it was just, but. Yeah, it's hard to duplicate stuff like that. Like,
I think about have you seen The Last Dance with Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
They were talking about, and you could go back. I mean, for those of you, the listeners out there that are interested in history and Bible, you could go back and talk about the perfect storm of the Roman Empire and the roads and how when Christianity was being developed, like the roads that carried it, like it was a perfect storm. And when Michael Jordan was coming along, he was talking about this perfect storm of media and this transition of basketball and like how if he had come previously, then the world would have known about him. And if he come later, then he would have just been.
It's like it's the right time.
Window.
Like YouTube was just starting out, or was just picking up. Like we started filming, like so we were able to have that aspect of it where it wasn't just localized. Like other people in other cities were able to see what we were doing. It's like. Oh, we want to be a part of that. Like, we want to bring us down. Like, we started bringing in poets from Dallas.
Yeah,
like, Houston. Like, we were bringing in artists from all over the country. Like, but a lot of that happened because, like, social media was starting to pick up. We were able to promote it. We were able to share what was happening in our city. Where if we were 5 or 10 years earlier, like, it would have just been localized.
Yeah.
And it would have had an impact here in the city. And eventually it may have spread out to other areas, but I think because it happened at the time that it happened, we were able to kind of jump on the bandwagon of the social media age and push it forward, man. It was like I said, a perfect storm.
I was hanging out with a guy yesterday. He's a former NFL athlete, and he's getting into speaking and writing books. And we met during an event, and he was like, "Yo, man, like I really enjoy your energy. Where can I find some more stuff about you?" And I was like, "Man, I don't have a lot of stuff out there."
Yeah.
He was like, "Well, I guess I'll just like Google you." And I was like, "Good luck." I ain't never said Google me. Like I'm not even at that level. Like some people say Google me, and it's legit.
You don't have a website?
But I do, but like you're not gonna find a lot there. It's more of a landing page, right?
Fair.
Like the way I get most of my business is people see me at an event and they're like, "Hey, we want you to come out and do a thing," right? I think that's the best way to develop relationships.
For sure.
But this dude goes online and he sends me. This week. He sends me this clip and it was like, "Yo, is this you?"
Wow.
I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "What's We Tell Stories?"
Wow.
And it was me emceeing. Right, doing poetry, like bringing people up.
It was probably on my YouTube page. It was probably from
yours?
It was probably from my YouTube page.
I don't even know what it is, but
I have all the clips still.
Oh my god!
Some of them are live, some of them I kind of put private, but like for the most part, it's still there.
So he found it, and he was like, "Yo, bro, like this is good stuff."
Yeah.
And I was like, "That's like young Derek."
Yeah.
Speaking of first, that was how I got into MCing.
Seriously.
Yeah, I had not MC'd the event until Heady.
I did not know that.
I was sitting there chilling. Everybody got a Heady story. Everybody got a Heady story. Heady creates stories. Like he's literally a story creator. Like he's gonna make a story happen, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm chilling, right? And he comes over. I'm trying to mind my business. I'm new to the city.
Wait,
right?
Y'all didn't know each other?
I didn't know Heady. I met Heady at We Tell Stories.
Are you serious?
That's where I met him. I heard about this.
I had a relationship.
No, I was sitting, minding my business, hanging out. Heady come over there, talking about, hey man, what's up? How you doing? My name is Heady. What you doing today? I was like, yo, I just heard about the event. And he was like, do you do poetry? And I was like, yeah, I kind of do poetry. He was like, you gonna do something tonight? And I was like, nah, man, I'm good.
Yeah.
So I came back and then I signed up and I did poetry. And he was like, yo, man, like, you ever thought about MCing? Like, you got good energy. And I was like, man, I ain't never MC'd nothing. He was like, just give it a shot. And it's history.
Okay, so what in that give it a shot what convinced you to do it? Like,
so I have this thing about like I have a lot of ideas.
Okay.
And I think they're pretty good ideas, but normally it takes somebody to be like, yo, bro, that's a good idea.
Okay.
Right.
That
so it's
confirmation.
like, affirmation. And I've learned to be more of a self-starter now. Yeah. But then I only did things that I knew I was good at or other people said I was good at. Okay. Right. Which is kind of dangerous. If you're waiting for people to tell you that you're good,
you'll never start. Or you'll start too late.
So I'm sitting there and he's like, yo, bro, you should try this. And I was like, I don't know. And he was like, just give it a shot. And so I got up there and it hit.
Yeah.
And it hit. And here's the thing, along the way, of course, you mess up and you do all the different things. But it was just the concept of somebody who didn't even know me to see something that shined bright enough for him to be like, yo, I don't really know you, but I know that.
He spoke to what he saw in you.
Yeah.
Like, and he built that up. Yeah.
And the good thing about it is, like, I think that when you partner with people and the relationships are good and they're fruitful, then it puts people in places where they shine the best. Right? Yeah. Heady, at that particular time, he was in front of people and he was on the mic because he had to. Yeah. But that's not where he wanted to be.
For sure.
Heady wanted to be shaking hands at the door. You know what I'm saying?
That's where he wanted to shine. Yeah. He would delegate something in a
heartbeat. Like, especially if it's not his forte, right?
For sure, yeah.
And so you think about We Tell Stories, and it's like Heady is just naturally meeting people. And by naturally meeting people, he just has this knack of like making people smile, asking enough questions to figure out what you want to do and what you're good at, and then either connecting you or putting you in that place. Yeah. To like that is.
I feel like that's his gift. That's his
story.
Best gift. Yeah.
When we talking about We Telling Stories, that's the story that we're gonna tell.
The dots that connected.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Oh my goodness.
Like, I mean, you're a part of that. You're a part of that story. I'm a part of that story. PJ, like, there's so many people who got their start at We Tell Stories. And like I said, that 3 degrees of separation, it all connects, especially here in Oklahoma City. I don't think you can tell the story of the culture here in Oklahoma City without mentioning We Tell Stories. Yeah. I feel like it was that big a part of the culture here.
So why don't people, why are we not telling the story of We Tell Stories more often? Because here's the thing. I mean, before you answer, like, Heady did a really good job about, he didn't have to carry the story. Yeah. Derek carried the story. Yeah. Sean carried the story. MOL and Rob Clay and Les carried it. Kendall S. Turner. Rose Turner carried the story, right? Like Sean Ali carried the story, right? It's like all he had to do was provide a venue, create a safe space, and we told the story. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We told
that's good. Yeah.
Why is that mad? What's the magic in that?
I think everybody. So I started doing film here recently, and I think studying film, you realize, like, I think there's something innate in everybody who wants to make sense of their lives, and we make it a story. Like, you think about when you tell your life, like your bio, like, it's essentially a story. Right. Like, in your mind, you make it a story. So I think for us, like, there's something innate in just humans. Like, we want to be a part of a story. Like, we have this, I don't know, it's just, there's a magic there. Like, and it's just, it's hard to explain that. That's a really good question. Yeah. It's a really good question, but I think innate in humans, like, there's just, we want to make a story of something. Like, and I think to be a part of something bigger than ourselves. Like, yeah.
And I think even if we don't create the story, we can be carriers of the story, right? It's like, if you ever think about a restaurant that you try, that you heard someone else tell you it's a good restaurant, it's like, they described it so well that I'm going to go try it, right? And that's a city that you visit. It's a shoe that you buy. It's a movie that you watch. It's a song that you listen to. Right? It's a restaurant that you support.
Like, I mean, think about it with music. Like, you want to be the person that puts a person on to an artist. Like, you want to be the person that shares this part. Like, I think that it taps into us wanting to be a part, attached to something. Like, I think that community, like it all circles back to that. Like we were a part of that, and we were building something, and it resonated with everybody. It was just like, all right, I want to be a part of this. Like people wanted to be a part of We Tell Stories because it was just bigger than us. I feel like that.
No,
it was
definitely.
bigger than us. Yeah.
And they didn't even have to be on stage to be a part of the story.
They were people who were regulars that became essential to that culture. Like it was like, where were you at? Like we miss you being there.
Where
like,
was you at?
Where was you at?
Yeah.
Like you were a part of that. Like it was a community. Like you got notoriety. Like it became a part of your social currency to be attached to We Tell Stories.
Yeah, being at the place.
Yeah, being at the place.
Yeah, I wonder what it's like when I think about the stories that we tell and the stories that we carry on behalf of other people. Like, what does it look like to carry a story and not be out front, right? Because I'm thinking like being in the audience of a special moment at We Tell Stories freezes you in time. Yeah. Right. I have this very vivid memory of standing on the side. Like if you go into Java Dave's and when you walk through the front door, stage was always to the left. Yep. I remember standing by the front door when Calandra sung Red Balloons. Like if I'm frozen in time. Yeah. When I'm frozen in time. Yeah. When we do the Valentine's Day thing, and Rob and Brittany are singing, I'm frozen in time in specific moments, and I carry it not as an MC, not as a musician, not as a vocalist or artist, but I carry it as a fan. Yeah. Like I carry that story with me, and I'll always have it, and it's the product of someone on stage telling a story because Heady created a safe spot for people to tell stories because it's like it's this ripple effect of storytelling. Yeah.
No, that's an interesting. Like I think it goes back to the analogy I was making with like we always want to make a movie or story like to rationalize our lives like in a story format or movie format. But I think for us like that was. You're holding on to that moment. Like that was a big moment for you. It's like a pivotal moment in the story of your life. Like you always want to replay that moment. Like it was just like, but there's like you mentioned, like there's a magic in that I think as humans, like we want that. Like we want those magic. We need those moments. Like those are the big moments in the movie where it's just like, it's like the music is crescendoing, like it's just like that pivotal moment, like it's the midpoint of the movie. Like I don't know, it's just we need that as humans. Like we want to remember those moments, and I think Heady providing that moment for us, like it was a safe place. Yeah. It allowed people to get out of our comfort zone. It was I think when you allow that, you just see the fruit of that. When you allow people to just be free and safe, like you see the fruit of that, and you create moments like that. Yeah. You create moments like that. And it's just like, I don't know, like I've been big on that lately. It's just like tapping into my just humanity, like, and just like these moments that we share, like with each other. Like those, that's pivotal. Like, but I think you need people operating in their individual gifts. Yes. Like yes. Like Heady is that connector. Yeah. You are the person who's good on improving, like being on stage, carrying a conversation, like that's you, music. So it's just like we need that. Like we need each other. Like I think that's the bigger story of We Tell Stories was the community aspect of like a lot of my friendships started at We Tell Stories. Wow. You connected with Heady at We Tell Story, and you see the fruit of that relationship, man. But I just think when you look back on the story of your life, like that's gonna be a pivotal moment in the scene of your like that scene of We Tell Stories is gonna be pivotal in your life. Like, but I'm sorry. I talk about. I've been big on film here lately. So no, it's I relate. Everything is a movie.
Everything's movies.
Everything's a movie.
Well, let's go to telling stories through the lens. How about that? Let's transition a little bit. All right. If I remember. Standing and I was doing this event and it was probably like 500 kids there. Yeah. And I remember being at church and this lady stood up and she was talking to me about what I was going to do. And she painted this very vivid picture of what I would be doing in the future. And I remember fast forward 10 years, 11 years, 12 years, I'm sitting there in this moment, right? Now, I don't know how big you all are listening about like casting and projecting to the future. Some people call it prophecy. But is there a moment in your life that you said, like you saw before it happened, like, I'm gonna be on stage, I'm gonna be writing music, I'm gonna be partnering with this person, I'm gonna go
Yeah.
to Europe, I'm gonna like, have you ever seen something and then in the moment frozen, like, yo, I made that happen?
Huh. Um. Yeah. Funny enough, it was at the premiere at Dead Center Festival.
Okay.
I got made a short film. We got accepted into the Dead Center Festival.
What's the name of the film?
Lucky. Lucky is the name of the short film. And we got into the festival, and when it played, just seeing the audience reaction, I remember when I was making the film, thinking about that moment and saying, "Man, I can't wait till I get to that moment." And like being in that moment, it was like surreal. It's like it's really happening. Like everything that I went through to get to this point was worth it.
Yeah.
It's just like it's a seeing the audience react to like certain things that you put in there that you want to kind of pull a reaction from and seeing it work. Like it's just like I can't describe that. Like it was just an amazing feeling. Like just seeing all that work, because like it took me a year.
Yeah.
To make that short film. Like it took me a year, like from conception to filming it to editing it, everything. Like so we took the long road. So like to finally get to that point, like in the back of my mind, like the festival that I wanted to get into was Dead Center. Like it's a local festival, and like I wanted to get into it because I grew up. I not grew up, but I used to live right down the street from it. I used to always go to Harkins where they were doing a lot of premieres for Dead Center. I would go there late in the night, watch movies after recording and stuff like that. So it's just like a full circle moment. It's like, I have to get into this festival.
Yeah.
I want to premiere it on this screen at Harkins Theater.
Yeah.
And it happened.
Wow.
And while I was in the theater and seeing people laugh at certain moments, react to the ending, it was just like, wow, like this is happening. Like, it's like not necessarily a prophecy, but it was just like, I had a desire to make a short film. I had a goal. I set a goal. And to see it happening in real time, I was like, I think more than anything, it encouraged me this is possible.
Yeah.
I can do this again. I did it once.
Yeah.
I can do this again.
Yeah.
And I think it encouraged me. It's just like, okay, like any idea or dream, if I put the effort and the energy into it and the work into it, like I can make it happen.
Make it happen.
I can make it happen. Yeah,
I can literally write that story.
Yeah.
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 So give me 3 other movie-ish moments.
Okay.
Where like you can smell, taste, hear, feel. Like you can give me some more movie moments.
Okay.
And before you do that, I'll tell you a movie moment that you shared with me.
Okay.
And I had asked you once, I said, have you ever been in awe on stage of like showing up and people singing your lyrics? And you took me to Europe.
Yep. UK.
Talk to me about the UK.
Yeah. Bro, it's tatted on my arm actually. So my apartment 63, in Cedar Hill Apartments. It's on the back of my arm. I don't know if y'all can see it. But I recorded all of my music. My first 6 albums, I think. Yeah, my first 6 projects I recorded at that apartment.
Wow.
And it's a 1-bedroom apartment. And to be overseas, thousands of miles away from your home, and people singing the lyrics.
I'm getting chill bumps.
Like, it's amazing, man. Like, it's just, I think that to me was a movie moment for sure. But it was more than that. It was just, I call them God winks. Winks from God. It was just like, I got you.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't have dreamed something like that. Like, I mean, you put in the work, but like, when you think about it, like, I was literally just recording this music in my room. I put it on the internet, and that small act allowed me to be in a whole nother country where what's the young lady's name? She played Shuri in Black Panther.
Yeah.
Letitia Wright. She came to the event. Like, that was just wild. It was just like, because to me, I see the artists that I listen to, like they're bigger than life to me. And like for somebody else, I'm that person for them.
Yeah.
And it's like, but to me, I'm just me. Like, I'm super regular, but like to somebody else, they view me in a certain aspect. And it's just like, I recorded this in a 1-bedroom room. Like, you have no idea. Like, but it's just like, it took away a lot of the smoke and mirrors of just like the industry and just like chasing these dreams. Like, it's possible.
Yeah.
it always comes back to like none of this is it's not impossible. Like it can really happen. Like if you put in the work, the consistency, the perseverance, like you can really get to these points. Like it's doable. But like Europe was definitely one. Just going on tour, like going on these different tours to these different cities and people knowing my music already was just. I don't think that'll ever get because like. I'm super. I think that's what I always come back to. It's just like I'm a regular human being, and I recorded this music. These were just ideas that were in my head, and I put them on. I put them out, and people resonated with them. Yeah. And I think that's. I don't know, man. It's hard to describe that feeling. Like it's
So
man.
I remember a pivotal moment for me as a fan.
Okay.
In your discography, is when you started rapping.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that
volume
transition.
3. Yeah.
Talk to us about that transition. Like, what made you was like, you know what? Let me speed this up a little bit.
Yeah. So the scene here, there's not a lot of singers that do what I do. So I was hanging out with a lot of rappers. Yeah. And just naturally, I mean, I love rap music, and I used to rap when I was younger, but when I was like 13, girls like singers. Yeah. So it was later.
It was a rap.
It was a rap after that. It was literally a rap. So, but. Circling back, like just hanging around all them rappers, and I think the medium of rapping just allows you to expound a little bit more than singing. Like singing, like you want to have the melody, you have to condense it a little bit, you don't have as many words, but what rapping allowed me to do was expound a lot more on certain ideas that I couldn't do with singing. So essentially it was just another tool that I put in my tool belt. Like going back to We Tell Stories, like so I started filming there. Like that was just the tool that I was putting in my tool belt. Right. I started singing there. Like that was a tool that I was putting live performance. I was sharpening that craft. That was another tool that I was putting in my tool belt. So it's just like everything went back to that. But it's just like rapping was just another tool that I was able to put in my tool belt that allows me to express different emotions, different thoughts. It all circles back to just being a creative, and like I have all these tools now. Like I can tell a story visually, audibly. Like I can do all that now. Yeah. But I had to create that tool. I had to cultivate that tool. But hanging around those rappers, like they inspired me to do it. Like I took notes from them. They gave me pointers. Like I would send them stuff and be like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" Like, but I needed that. Like it was again a safe place where I could go to my friends and be like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" Because this was out of my comfort zone. Right. Because I've been singing. Everything up to this point was just singing. Right. So it's like, how people are going to receive this? But like my friends were able to be that safe place where I would show them stuff. I could cultivate that gift before it went out to the world. So, but yeah, man.
So another part of your story, when we're talking about being in different places and being around different people, I don't know how much of this part of your story that people know, but bro, you was working.
Yeah.
Like you had.
I had a full-time job. I was in the Air Force.
Jobs. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, like while you, people seeing you on the internet and they hear your music, bro, you had a job.
I had a career. Yeah.
Like,
I had jobs.
Talk to people about the importance of not quitting your day job.
So, I think to your point, people saw only one side of it. They saw what was online. They saw they had that perception of it, but. That's a smoke and mirror. Like, there's so much behind that because, like,
it's incomplete.
It's incomplete. It's an incomplete picture.
Yeah.
Because most people there's only a handful of people who are able to literally just make a living from their art. Like, there's only one Beyonce. There's only one, like, these one-name people who are these mega stars. Right. Everybody else is working check to check, trying to make these ends meet. Yeah. But I mean, you can make a decent living. So I mean, there's levels to it. So I think for me, I was at a level starting out where it did not make sense for me to quit a job and just chase music. I hadn't built up enough of a fan base for it to make sense. And I think for me, wisdom said, keep working. Yeah. You have time and opportunity to still chase these other dreams. Not dreams, but like to cultivate that profession. But it's like, in the meantime, you still, and the thing was like me being in the Air Force, like funded all of that. I was in a better place where I didn't have to I could say yes and no to different things based off of, does this serve where I'm trying to go?
Right.
Or it wasn't just, I wasn't desperate.
Yeah.
Because I had a job.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
I still had funds to be able to fund my life and be able to, my quality of life, but also fund what I was trying to do.
Right.
Like, I couldn't have done that had I just tried to rely on just music.
So let's dig a little deeper, because there's somebody that's listening to this and they are irritated with having to go to work. In fact, they're saying working is getting in the way of me doing the thing. Like, I cannot do the thing because I gotta go to. I need you to talk that person into not quitting their job for the next 60 seconds. Like, how do you encourage them to believe in the season, to trust the process, to fund the dream, right? To not sell your soul to where you at and sell yourself short to where you want to be. Like, how do you convince them?
Yeah, so I think going back to tying back into movies and stuff, I think people have fallen into the narrative of the struggling artist, and you don't have to be that. You can still create good art, and work a full-time job.
Yeah,
like, I think it's just a matter of scheduling, like having organization, like saying, all right, I'm gonna allot this time, giving yourself space and time to create, but still being able to do your job. Like, you got to work hard. It's not gonna be. It's harder. Yeah. It's definitely a harder route to go, but it's also harder to not have money for food and to not pay bills. Like, so I think either way you're gonna have to work.
Right.
It's gonna be work either way. So I think it's more comfortable working a job and also pursuing that path.
Yeah.
Though it's not as sexy, it doesn't have the same appeal, doesn't fit the narrative of the struggling artist, and like, I'm quitting my job and I'm chasing this dream, I'm jumping off this cliff.
Yeah.
Like, you can jump off a cliff, but you can also jump off with a parachute. Like, you don't have to just jump off.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. That's a great
You don't
analogy.
have to just jump off. You can jump off with a parachute. There's no shame in that. So I think getting rid of the narrative of just that struggling artist, just like, I just got to go out here and pursue my art. Like, you can still do that and be more productive.
Yeah.
Because I think creating art from just like when you're stressed, that's not a good way to be creative.
Boy.
It's not a good way to be creative.
It's not going to be the best.
It's not going to be the best. You can create something from that, but it's not going to be the best. So I think being in a place where you're not worried about your bills, where you're able to just literally just create. Yeah. Like, working allows you that opportunity to do that. Like,
so we have, I mean, a lot of people that are looking at you, and they are making assumptions, right? And they see the movies and the music, and even if they go back to We'll Tell Stories, there are people that are seeing you on the stage, and they're thinking something. What does Sean C. Johnson do Monday through Thursday when he's not on the stage, when he's not making movies, when he's not producing, when he's not editing, when he's not performing? Like, what story would the world be surprised to read, to see?
I eat a lot of chicken wings.
A lot of chicken wings.
I keep Wingstop in business. No,
what's your favorite? Your favorite flavor?
Lemon pepper. Easy.
Lemon pepper? Easy.
Yeah, nobody's touching Wingstop lemon pepper.
Really?
It's not even a contest,
Okay.
Yeah. But a lot of people be surprised. I have a degree in elementary education. Like,
what?
I have a whole degree that's sitting on my wall. But I work with a nonprofit. I work with a nonprofit called Youth for Christ.
Okay.
I've been with them 12 years. This is my 12th year now working with them. So even like behind the scenes of doing music, while technically I'm doing music full time, I was still supplementing my income doing something else. Like, I was either doing that or freelance, doing editing. Again, all the tools that I was putting in my tool belt over the years, which started at We Tell, that created streams for me. Like, multiple streams.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I think that's what would surprise people. Like, I still have a job. Like, I still, though it's like part-time, there's some flexibility. Like, there's still my income is being supplemented in other ways. It's not just music. And I think there's wisdom in that, not putting your eggs all in one basket and just saying, hey, because the pandemic happened and there were no shows. Like, people were still streaming, like, and that's consistent, but that's not going to make up that gap that was left when shows shut down. But I was able to stay afloat because I had other streams, and I think that's just wisdom. It's just like, listen, there's no shame in having multiple streams. Like, these are the tools that I have. Why would I not use them
Right.
to provide for myself?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, man.
Yeah, so with that in mind, like you talk about having another job, working
Mm-hmm.
Youth for Christ, that being another chapter, page of your story.
Yeah.
We're telling stories here. What are some of the most impactful stories you've
Yeah.
heard, seen, experienced working with Youth for Christ?
Wow. So the most impactful moments are when kids that we mentored or that were a part of our program come back and work with the program. Like, we are duplicating ourselves now. I've been at, like I said, it's 12 years now. I'm at that stage now where these people are coming back now.
Yeah.
We're starting to see the fruits of
You're
our labor.
graduating kids.
We're graduating kids.
Coming back.
And they're coming back and they're actually
You the
working
old head
for us.
now.
I'm the
You that
old
old
person.
head.
I'm the old person now. But it's like, I think that's the best part. It's like, you're seeing the fruits of all those years of labor coming back now. And like, people you poured into, they're coming back and pouring into the same kids that you're pouring into now. So like, that to me is honestly the biggest wow moment. Like, those are the moments you look back on and be like, man, yeah, man.
You know, I feel like you're pretty observant.
Yeah.
When it comes to capturing a story.
Yeah.
Right? Once you become a storyteller, everything's a story. Once you become a writer, everything's a chapter.
Oh, for sure.
Right? Once you become a rapper or a songwriter, everything's a lyric. Everything's a bar, right? Where do you get your most random inspiration from? Like, where do you what's some random things that you like? Cause so I was talking to Marcus Jackson Cadence for you all that may know Die Daily.
Yeah, man.
Eastside drummer.
Eastside drummer.
I was asking him about growing up as a musician, and he was like easily distracted.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
everything pulls my attention. He was like, I could be in class and the tick of a clock, or I could be sitting at a railroad station and then a ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
He was like getting out of the car and hearing like the belt buckle or my keys. Like, he was like hearing a sound. Like,
cool story. I don't know if you remember J.R. Cross.
Yes.
But like, there was one time we were at We Tell Stories and the train, remember the train used to pass by there. It honked and he was like, that's an E flat.
No way.
I said, what? It was just random. It's like, what are you talking about? It's like, that sound, that's an E flat. That's tuned to an E flat. I said, bro, you different.
That's crazy.
You different, bro.
Yeah, what about you? Random source of inspiration.
People are my most random source of inspiration, honestly. Like, especially when it comes to stories, like, or just my life in general. Like, there's in my phone, I literally have like just a tab or like a little note where it's like, if something random happens to me, I write it down.
Yeah.
Because like, I feel like those make the best stories because like, it happened.
Right.
It was a real thing that happened to me. And it's like, my life is just full of just random moments. Like, and it's just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna write that down.
I'm gonna write that down. What is a surprising lyric that you think people would be shocked about that it had, what source it came from?
Not just the lyric, a whole album. Days Like This. There's a there's a song on there, Obey. The sample came from Boondocks.
Boondocks?
Boondocks.
Regina King Boondocks?
Regina King Boondocks, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like the whole sample on there, and then like the whole theme for the album came from like a TV show. Because if you look at the album cover, it's basically like a Netflix deal. Like, so like it came from just like Netflix, like just watching movies, like binging movies. Yeah.
Inspiration.
Inspiration, yeah.
From anywhere.
Yeah, from anywhere.
Okay, so if here we go, inspiration. We're gonna create a live inspiration moment.
Okay.
If you had to tell a story about your life from the perspective of a shoe, which shoe would it be? Because I know you're a shoe connoisseur, aficionado.
It would probably be an Air Force One.
Air Force One?
Sorry, not Air Force One. Jordan 1.
It'd be a Jordan 1. Why Jordan 1?
That's my favorite shoe.
Favorite shoe?
It's my favorite Jordan. And it's my favorite Jordan. And I think it's a classic. It goes with everything. And I feel like for me, we good? Okay, no, you good. I think for me that that fits me because like I grew up Army brat.
Okay.
So I could go, I can fit into any environment. Like I've learned to just over the years kind of fit into any environment. And I think that's what the Jordan 1 is. Like you can dress it up, dress it down, and you can it's just a classic shoe. So
yeah. If Sean C. Johnson was a color.
Okay.
A color.
Okay.
You tell a story. An example would be pink.
Okay.
Is my favorite color.
Is that really your favorite color?
No, I'm
Okay.
just
The song.
talking the lyrics. Blue, abadi, abada. I'm blue, abadi, abada. Right.
And we were all yellow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Roxanne. What was it? Turn off the red light. What was
Yeah.
it? Yeah. If you had
If
to
I
tell
were a
your
color.
story
Or through a color.
I'm blickety black and I'm black, y'all. I'm black. Y'all. Like if you had to, what color and why?
Probably green. But like that, well, that's a kind of a green. That's kind of
Like a sage.
yeah. Like a little bit darker
like a
than
brownie
that.
green. Okay.
What's the color I'm looking for? Not a forest green. It's
like an emerald?
It's like a but green, like that type of green. I think.
What's the story behind that green? That kind of color?
What's my favorite color? And then I like earth tones. I like earth tones, and I think it just fits my vibe. Honestly,
Okay.
Like that whole earth. Yeah, I think it just fits my vibe. Yeah,
Just grounded, rooted.
grounded.
Just rooted.
Well, no, I think
Groot.
when I think of my life, like I just it feels. I don't know that color just like those warm colors, like because I had a really dope childhood. Like I remember that distinctly. Like just growing up, different places, seeing the world.
Right.
Like the world was my backyard. Like I remember it was when I think of my childhood, it's very warm earth tone colors. Like just comfortable.
Yeah.
Just feels comfortable. So,
Yeah.
that's why I would pick that color.
Okay, last one.
Go for
last
it.
one. If Sean C. Johnson
Yep.
was a food, not chicken wing, how would you tell your life story through a food or a meal?
It would probably be fried rice, but not just any fried rice. Specifically, St. Louis fried rice combination. St. Louis combination fried rice.
Like 3 combination, 2 combination?
Like so, it would be pork, chicken, shrimp.
Okay.
Pork, chicken, shrimp. Yeah, combination fried rice. And this is why. Like, so again, we were in the Air Force, our Army. My dad was in the Army. We moved around a lot, so. Whenever we would move to a different city, the first meal we would always eat in a new city was like Chinese food, was fried rice. So like it just always attached to these different moments in my life. Like you were sitting by the stage watching Calandra scene. Like I remember going to the restaurant. Like those are some of my fondest memories, like of just sitting with the family in a house with all these boxes with like Chinese food, these Chinese boxes with the fried rice, the little white box, with the fried rice in there and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I'd probably be combination fried rice. Yeah. And St. Louis is the only rice that I found that tastes like the rice I used to eat when I was young.
Really?
Yeah. I can't find it anywhere else. Yeah. It's only in St. Louis.
Yeah.
They have the best fried rice.
You are probably one of the more traveled people
For sure.
that I know. And if we're trying to paint a story of the world in America, what's something that you would share with somebody that's not as traveled as you are? If you're trying to paint this picture, if you're trying to write this story, and people are saying, I don't know, I don't want to travel. Like, I'm afraid to travel. Or travel. Like, what could you tell people to encourage them to get outside?
I think you have to get outside of your comfort zone. You have to see that the world is bigger than just your community. Because I think it gives you empathy.
Yeah.
When you're able to see different cultures, you're able to see that just because you live your life a certain way doesn't make it the best way to live your life.
Yeah.
Like, there may be moral things that are, of course, that are universal, but I think just how you live your day-to-day life, it doesn't have to look like it looks here in America. It doesn't have to look like it looks somewhere else. But, like, I think you can build a life and build a culture and build a community that doesn't have to look like anywhere else. Like, but what that does, like I said, it gives you empathy. Like, but I think you need that. You have to be able to see people who don't look like you, who don't come from the same background as you. Like that's important.
Yeah.
Like you have, because if all you have is just you become a just sound just bouncing off the wall, like a closed room. Like it's just that's an echo chamber.
Yeah.
Like that's all it is. Like you have to have people who have a different perspective than you. Like, but getting outside of your comfort zone is the only way you can do that.
Yeah.
You got to go see the world. Yeah. You got to
So,
go see it.
Sean C. Johnson traveled,
Yep.
author, director, writer, producer, engineer, editor.
A lot of dashes, man.
People might look at you and see that you've arrived. And anybody who's arrived know they will never arrive, right? That's the story. That's the theme. If you make a lot of money, you know people who make more money than you do.
Oh yeah.
Right?
There's always levels. There's always another level to go.
Always another level. So I'm sure that you've had to learn how to go with the flow, how to be flexible, but also be firm and kick doors open.
Yeah.
Well, somebody's listening right now, right? Yeah. They are in the process of writing their story. Yeah. They're in the process of creating this book and this life that they want to look back and be proud of. Yeah. How can you explain the balance between going with the flow and being flexible and being a bull and just kicking doors open and forcing your way into places?
The best way I can put that is a small step is still progress. And if all you did today was just make a step in that direction, that's progress. Don't try to rush it, because all you have is right now. Like literally, like the moment, all we have, so good. All there is literally right now. Like, we can stress out about the future, or we can worry about or regret about the past, but like literally all we have is right now. So like, do the work each day to just move an inch forward. Because like if you look back, if you do an inch each day, you can look back over a year, you've made a lot of progress. Yeah. Like, so I just think every day, just try to do something. Don't try to, my girlfriend hates when I use this analogy, but how do you eat a cow? Or how do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time.
Yeah.
Like, it's this big thing, but like, just don't try to eat the whole elephant at once. Like, just one bite at a time, man. Yeah. How do you eat a piece of cake? Just one bite at a time. One bite at a time.
So with that in mind, the only thing that we have is the moment that we have right now. What stories are you writing in this moment? What you got going on, man? What you got coming up?
So we got the online premiere of Lucky. Like, the festival circuit is ending. We have another one in October, but I wanted to release it before then. So August 26th, we have an online premiere for Lucky. I'm super excited about that.
That's a Friday.
It's a Friday. Grab your popcorn. It's only 16 minutes. So I don't want to take your whole evening, but I just need that portion of your evening. But outside of that, more music is coming. I'm also dropping a single that day that's in relation to the film, original music from the film. And hopefully right now, I hope the reception is that people want to see more of the story.
I was going to ask you about that.
So I think I want to turn it into a series. Like I'm kind of planning that already. Like I'm brainstorming ideas to just flesh out the story a little bit more. So yeah.
Now for the old school, the OG Sean C. Johnson.
Yeah, man.
This isn't your first one.
This is not.
People think this is your first one.
This is not the first one.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you tell people who feel like you just popped up and had all this success? Like, well, this is your first, you know what I'm saying? This is
Yeah. But I think it started back at We Tell Story. That tool that I put when I was just filming, because I think for us, I just wanted to find a better way to, because at one point it got to the point where I was helping Heady put on the events. I was like, how can we best showcase what we're doing here? It's like, okay, I need to buy a camera. Yeah. So I just brought a camera and I started just setting it up. It was just literally just one shot, one view the whole night. But like that was the start of it. And it gave me a tool where I was able to kind of go out and start filming my own things. Yeah. And from there, I started filming my own videos. Yeah. And then from there, I got the bug. It's like, I want to do a web series. Like, web series, actually, the inspiration was Issa Rae. Like, she had Misadventures of an Awkward Black Girl. Like, I saw that. I was like, I want to try this.
Now, that's old school fans.
That's old school.
They know it is Insecure.
It morphed into Insecure, but it started as I think, Misadventures of an Awkward Black Girl. Of an Awkward Black Girl. But I saw that, and I was like, I want to make a web series. Yeah. And I started that, and granted, looking back on it, I could see ways that I could change it. But at the time, like, I worked with what I had. Like, right. I used the tools that I had. I used the people that I had. You guest starred in a couple episodes. But like that was the breeding ground. That was the starting point. And that was 8 years ago. Wow. It was a while. Yeah. It was a while ago. But like I still use some of the same people from that. December, who was in the series, is actually in my short film. Yeah. But one of the things I actually learned from Issa too, like networking laterally. I think we always try to go vertically
Yeah.
to try to move up, but it's
Yeah.
just like, no, like network laterally. So that way when you move up,
Yeah.
you're all moving up together. And by the time you are, because everything just cycles through. Like eventually you're gonna be that person that's the OG. Like I'm the old head.
You are the old head
like,
now.
but like I network laterally and like everybody's at that level. Like Heady, you like these are the people who I network with laterally. Like now we're at that same level. I could go to you guys and
Yeah.
ask for these certain things, but like I had to network laterally. I had to build that foundation and move up together. So,
Right.
But yeah, man. But yeah.
Well, man, we're ending our time.
Yeah, man.
I don't want to have the last word. I definitely want you to have the last word
Yeah, man.
for our inaugural We Tell Stories
Yeah.
podcast. Man, I want you to look right into this camera, and I want you to use this book analogy of writing
Yeah.
these stories and telling these stories. You
Yeah.
got somebody out there right now, man, that's
Yeah.
listening to this, and they need that extra push, right? One
Okay.
of the best things that I've ever heard Heady say to me is that, like, you author your story. Like, you literally can write it, right?
Yeah.
You can make moments happen. Like, when you see
Facts.
moments on social media, like, you can make moments. In fact,
that stuff just don't happen by chance. You
yeah.
gotta be intentional sometimes.
I was at the Martin Luther King parade, and I gave away 500 hugs
Wow.
at the Martin Luther King parade. This is pre-COVID, by the way. But like, and writing a book, right? I've written 2 books. I've jumped out and started my own business,
man.
and it all starts with Heady saying, "Well, what do you want that to look like?" Right? Like, can you see yourself being an author? Well, before you write a book, you need to see yourself being an author, right? Before you being a business owner, like, can you see yourself being a business owner? Do you know what it's going to take? Well, let
Yeah.
me hook you up with these people that are business owners so you can see what it looks like.
Yeah.
And so we got people that don't even know what it look like, man. They're looking at you and they're like, man,
Yeah.
the stars aligned, and he just walked through all these open doors. But in fact, you put pen to paper and you actually begin writing your story. Just talk to somebody real quick that's kind of struggling with writing a story.
Yeah, I'll say this.
Right into that camera.
That one right there. This is my mark. I'll give you the recipe. And it's anybody who's been successful at anything, these 3 things have always been a part of whatever they're doing. It's hard work, it's consistency, it's perseverance. Whatever story you're writing, you have to include that in it because it's just not gonna happen by chance. Like, you have to be intentional about certain things. You have to work hard. You have to be consistent. You have to persevere. You can literally apply that to anything in your life. You're gonna see some fruit from that. But if you don't have that as a tool that you're using to write your story, it's just a dream at that point. Like, at some point, you do have to put the work in. You have to be consistent in doing the work, and you have to persevere. There's going to be moments where you're going to be disillusioned. You're going to be disappointed. Things are not always going to work out. You're going to be the setbacks. You got to push through that, and you have to be consistent. I think it wasn't that I was just talented. I'm more talented than anybody else. I just didn't stop. Like, I just kept going. Like, I just tried to perfect my craft. I worked at my craft. I was consistent in trying to put out content and music, and I persevered. Like, everything didn't work out the way I wanted it to, but like, I didn't stop. So I think as you're writing your story, make sure you have those tools in your tool belt, like that hard work, that consistency, and that perseverance. So,
Sean C. Johnson, folks,
sir.
for the inaugural We Tell Stories podcast here in Guthrie America Studios, hosted by Heady Coleman. Thank you all so much for joining in. If you took away anything, hard work, perseverance, make sure you stay in there, be consistent, and your story will evolve. We'll continue to have guests come back that are part of the We Tell Stories history and culture. We're going to have multiple people. You're going to enjoy it. Please come back, share, like, subscribe, wherever it is. Make sure people know. And then don't forget to tell your story. We Tell Stories out. Peace.